This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have not a lot of folks today, but we can still continue and cover the agenda. Maybe, Mark, are you the only person who was there at last month's OCP Regional Summit? Maybe you have some comments you want to add, since this is the first time we're meeting since then.
Yeah, I think we've had some really positive feedback from this summit. We had nearly 600 attendees, which is a good number in comparison to the last time we had a regional summit. And yeah, a lot of really interesting presentations. I was involved with a presentation with John Grow around trying to socialize and drum up some recruits to join John Grow in helping to create a colo site assessment based on the requirements of ACF.
Is that focused around liquid cooling?
Yes, that's correct. And yeah, trying to create a similar site assessment to the one that we had, or an addition to. So we don't want too many site assessments because that starts to become very complicated. But the idea is to create one which could be used as a way of assessing either one that was fully air cooled, or equipment where it's fully air cooled, or where immersion, rear door heat exchange, and cold plate types of cooling could be deployed. There are some challenges for this. To have something that that encompasses so many different types of technologies when there is a lack of standardization, and sometimes a lack of feedback coming back from the manufacturers on the data center, on the cooling, on things like pressures and cooling and temperatures and things like that. I'm trying to encourage John to sort of try and narrow down the requirements to maybe the immersion tank deployment, so we can have some sort of MVP site assessment rather than trying to do too much at once, and try and target immersion tanks that have OCP recognized equipment deployed within them, because there's a lot of folks in the cooling environments projects that have equipment, but have tanks, but and other solutions, but not all are being marketed with OCP recognized hardware deployed within them. That's the track I'm trying to sort of lead John down.
Yeah, I would be interested in the liquid cooling assessment methodology, or colos for a school and distribution unit installation. That would be pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah, I think
I can check with John.
So he's been saying the presentation was in some respects trying to recruit more contributors to it, and in the last ACF call we had at least 2 people who volunteered, said they'll volunteer to help. So I'm hoping by the global summit that we'll have something, and hopefully we might have a pilot project by then, where a data center is actually assessed for this and have deployed a liquid cooling solution. So that's what we're aiming for.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah,
we can go down the list. Maybe I know Priya can update her stuff later. She said she can't be here, but any progress on any upcoming white papers on OCP Ready?
Okay, so our full attention really has been aimed at creating the OCP Ready for hyperscale site assessment, and that's what Scott and I have been working on. So I don't think I think we need to concentrate our focus on getting that completed and taking that work stream and project to fruition. I'm hoping that by the end of Q2 we'll have a hyperscale specific colo site assessment that we can share with the DCF community. So that's what we're focusing on, rather than trying to spend time creating another white paper, of which we've already we've created one already. But what I would say from a white paper perspective, I think, and I think this is something we probably discussed at the time, but it's something that could be updated. Certainly, at a minimum, we update the chart that gives everyone an overview of all the OCP ready facilities in the estate, so that we can compare, the various parameters and metrics, and also give visibility to new data centers that have been brought into the program. So that's something I think we should do on a yearly basis. But I think we really want to try and concentrate on getting this new hyperscale specific colo site assessment complete first. I think Scott has joined us now. Hi, Scott.
Yes, my apologies. I'm trying to get my, don't have a headset today, so give me one moment on microphone. But yeah, in terms of the hyperscaler checklist, essentially working through kind of some updates and then working on getting some of the security standards included as well. I know we had been coordinating with Meta on a few things with regards to the OCP security document that they had published.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's one of the sort of line items that we hasn't been complete yet. We haven't got those attributes set in stone, but the Sittamadu, we're looking to really, I think, to rather than have project creep and we can always add extra attributes and we can change parameters. Obviously, it's a dynamic thing, but I think we should. I think we're looking to aim at getting this site assessment complete by the end of Q2, by the end of June. So to try and say that's the cutoff. We'll stop adding additional attributes at that point, and then try and and then finalize it, and then start to socialize it. So I think that's probably going to be the best way, because it would be really good to launch this at the global summit, and we need a little bit of time to say socialize it, give the current OCP ready facilities the chance to use this site assessment, and we've also got some data centers that are looking to get certification by the Global Summit to also have a look at it as well. And we might, it would be nice if we could actually get to the point by the Global Summit that that we have, we start to get a list of data centers that meet the requirements. So yeah, that's sort of a bit of a roadmap, really.
Thank you. I guess we don't have anyone else from the other three. Does anyone remember IK Mezu's email address? I'm not able to get it. I don't know if anyone has that.
Yeah, because we've been, Scott and I have been in communication with about the adding in the OTS requirements. So I will get it and put it into the chat. All right, here we go.
All right. I will transfer that. Okay. iMezu at Meta. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. We can maybe then we'll just jump to the next section. Avinash, do you want to just update us on where you're at and when you want to come back with the presentation between you and Eric?
Yes. So we have been working with Meta, Eric's team there. We have been meeting almost monthly. We have a draft charter document which we both are working on. It is being reviewed by both our internal teams right now before we can make it public or bring it to this kind of forum. I would say document is around 90% complete now. We have defined what kind of topics we want to work on. We are targeting 4 topics or that we would like to work on this year, and we would like to publish 4 white papers on those 4 topics by the end of the year. And another interesting development is I got contacted by Microsoft robotics team. So Microsoft is also having a similar effort, and they're interested in collaborating on the charter. So I just had my first call with that team last week, and they are working on their internal permissions to officially come and join the charter.
Very good. Working like as intended. So do you want to give us an update? Maybe have, I don't know if the Microsoft and Eric and you and anyone else, you can give us an update. Jesse, give us an update next month.
Yeah, we are hoping that by next month we should be able to share the charter document here and completely review it with the forum.
So I'll put you down for June 21st is the next meeting.
Sounds good. Do we have a DCF representative at Microsoft we work with?
I think Priya's co-lead in sustainability is actually a director at Microsoft. So just talk to her. She might. I don't remember his name actually.
Okay, because they are reaching out to Zaid Khan, whom I don't know what is Zaid Khan the main rep from Microsoft for OCP?
He might be at the board level. I don't know how
Okay.
much he is at the working level.
Okay. So they are going through Zaid Khan to make sure that they are getting going through the right channels to approve. I just want to help them out if we have a better contact. I think Priya's co-lead may be a good lead because they might have gone through a similar process last year,
Yeah.
so they can guide them.
Yeah, I think I forget his name. Maybe someone else.
I will ask Priya.
Yeah.
It's Sean James, Avinash. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So we will have an update from you next month. That sounds awesome.
Madhu, I think we could provide an update too. That last week we actually had some of Eric's meta team out to our facility here in Illinois, along with Heister Yale, who manufactures the tugger for our data center carts. So we kind of walked through kind of the last, I would say, checklist of improvements we want to incorporate into our design. So I think by then our design would kind of be close to being finalized. I think they were in the process of sending us an ORV3 rack so that we could do all the testing. And I think our hope is once that testing is complete, you know, we'd be ready to kind of take this to the next level as far as opening it up to the broader OCP community, and then we'd be willing or ready to talk at the global summit and perhaps do a presentation or exhibit there.
We'll budget 20 minutes. There's a OCP ready presentation that Mark is organizing, and we'll budget 20 minutes for DC automation. Obviously, if it goes over, we'll see. Very good. Thanks, Jesse. One more item here. Where would Google health and safety, data center health and safety lead, who's working with a Meta counterpart, and they're interested in an OCP ready white paper around ergonomics, around lift weight, heat stress, acoustics, touch temperature. I think the team here actually added liquid ink exposures. So that is in the works. I'll probably get John to come and at least chat to the team to introduce it. So I'll add that. Proposal. I'll have John come in next time.
Madhu, are you aware of how to get this like agenda distributed in advance of today? I know you sent an email this morning about what we're going to discuss, but are you au fait with how to get that mailing list out to everyone?
I mean, I usually use the email in the calendar invite, but my calendar invite doesn't have those emails, so I don't remember how I did it this morning. I think I found an old email and I sent it out or something like that.
Okay, because there's like an automated process now, so it comes from Kevin Kiefer.
Okay.
So I think might be I think we'll probably be, just get I know Priya's been sort of sending out emails using this process about meetings. So I think probably would be a sort of meeting, just have a quick call or discussion with Kevin, our IT manager, just so that we
How do you
get.
spell his last name? Keifer? Or?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Definitely a little primitive on this stuff. Yeah, well, point taken.
Okay. What I'll do, shall I? Are you happy to contact him? Have you got his email address?
I don't. So if you want to introduce me to him, that'll be great. Yeah.
I will do that. I'll do that after the call.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries.
Do you know what to say about these two items, the calendar update and the call for participations? I think the call for participation is, hey, do anyone have interesting hardware that they want to show at the OCP Summit? And maybe Jesse, you do. If you want to talk to Rob on if there's equipment around automation that you want to demo, there's a Summit Experience Center. We are asking for maybe Carl to bring his wooden data center, which was a big success at the regional summit in Prague last month. And just a call for participation on keynotes and workshops. The calendar update, I'm not so sure. I don't know what that refers to. Do you know, Mark?
I think this is what I'm alluding to.
Okay.
With around distributing the calendar to the and the agenda item for the meetings via the mailing list. So Kevin is the person to talk to get completely up to speed with that new process. So as I say, I'll introduce you and then it'd be great to have that sort of in place for the next meeting, so we can get as many people as possible along, especially as it's an OCP ready presentation, because we like to get as many eyes and ears on what's being presented and get some feedback.
Okay, thank you. And anything from Nate? And any additional words from Jesse, Dejan, Jabari, and John? I know if you guys have something to add. Good. John, I noticed you're here. Anything we should be doing more around collaborations with ACF and ACS?
Yeah, so with regards to the hybrid cooling white paper with modular data centers, I have a follow-up call with a couple of the community members on the Door Heat Exchanger side to gather some information. So our goal is definitely to follow up on the regional summit presentation and hopefully have the white paper ready in time for the global summit. So I do need to follow up with Carl. It's been a while since I chatted with him, but I do believe he's going to follow up and set up a meeting series for us to close this out in the next, month or two.
Okay. Do you know if there is a ACF white paper on typical coolant distribution unit installation in a colo related to what Mark was talking about, John working?
I'm not sure about that specific aspect. I do know that they are trying to the ACF is trying to initiate a work stream on CDUs. There's been a lot of interest in putting together I think more along the lines of a requirements document, something that people can have as reference. I'm not entirely sure if that specific aspect of deploying a CDU in a colo is a part of that scope. But maybe if it needs to be, maybe that's something, Mark, you can take back to John Gross and ask him about that. I know John Minosh was planning to follow up on the whole CDU work stream. Maybe check in with John Minosh and John Gross on that.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I think one of the things they're looking at is a different assessment process for an existing colo and how to plug in liquid cooling into an existing colo, but also requirements if it was from new, so from a greenfield of comparison to brownfield. So I think that's the other aspect they're looking at, different scenarios, because yeah, there could be, the solution could be, will need to be treated probably in a different way, and certainly around CDU placement, things like that. So yeah, I think one of the comments that was made on the ACF that because there's such a lack of standardization between the different liquid cooling products and what their needs are, that you could end up having to really over-engineer the facility to be able to cope with any type of solution, because of the different, pump, pressure needs, for instance, and house pumps
Yeah.
may not be capable of providing the flow that a particular solution needs. John, you're more an expert in these areas than myself. That's the sort of the take I'm getting from what John's trying to work on.
Yeah, I mean, this has been something that the ACF has been trying to collect information on. I know from the door heat exchanger community side, we have contributed information to before, along the lines of, what sort of pressure drops, what sort of delta T's, and so on and so forth. But you're right. It's kind of hard to to find, or I guess they've been finding it hard to find something that's sort of sized for everything. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've not heard any updates on that area in the past month or so. So who knows? Maybe they have gotten all the information there, but I've not heard any updates over there. So
yeah.
All right. I think that's it for today. Have a really good month of May, and we will meet again in June.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.